Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good day. I wish to officially welcome you all to our today's Women's Sports Wednesday. So my name is Wamaka Odenigwe, the sales director of the Untamed, your favorite queen of sales. I'm saying hello to you all. So welcome to the Women's Sports Wednesday. Don't forget to tell us where you're joining from. Don't forget to tell us your name, your location, and let us know where you are joining from. So let the countdown begin. Oh my God, Hello, people. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on our Women's Sports Wednesday. And today we are going to be talking about how you need to accelerate your leadership skills. This is really an interesting topic that we need, especially women who are building a community, women who are building business. Don't forget that leadership is not just by position, right? Yet. So let's see people who are live with us. So we have Charity, you're welcome. Charity is joining us all the way from Ghana. We have Winnie, you are welcome. We have Ifoma, thank you for joining this section. Please, can we do a quick reminder? Let your friends know we're live. Let's send a quick reminder to let them know that we are live for today's Women's Sports Wednesday. And don't forget that we have a very special guest who is going to speak to us about how we can be able to do what? Accelerate your leadership skills. Yet. You see our guest is already here, waiting for you to send a reminder to all your friends to join. So can we do this now? Can we ask all our friends to join so we can start today's section? So while we wait for this, can you let me know what your expectation is for today's section? I'm so excited we're talking about leadership because leadership is key. And we need for, both whether you're 9-to-5 career person. Okay, Ifoma said done. Ifoma, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing a reminder. So let your community members know we've started. And also make sure you also invite your friends. Remember that, they can join this conversation because this topic will really help them a lot to be able to do what? Build their business. And this is why we need to make sure we invite them to do what? To join this section, right? Yes. So tell me in the comment section what your expectation from today, what do you want to learn from today's Women's Sports Wednesday? I want to know what you want to learn from today's section, because the topic for today is accelerate your leadership skill, right? Yes, I want to know what you want to learn from today's section. So while we wait for more people to join the section, Ifoma said, how to grow my business. Ifoma, this is an interesting topic. Although today we are talking about leadership skills, but this is also an interesting topic. Okay, this is good. Thank you for sharing this with us. How you can be able to grow your business. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so for others who have joined, kindly let us know what you're expecting on today's topic. And please don't forget to send a quick reminder. Tell your people to join. We are live, but we need to let them know. Let them know that they can join us on Facebook. They can join us on the Untamed Nigerian YouTube channel, right? We're actually streamlining this event on 2 different platforms, so they can feel free to join any of this platform. So we are going to start immediately, but you need to do this quick reminder. Remind people, let them know that we're live and they need to join the section immediately. Okay, so for those just joining now, please kindly tell us your name, tell us the location you're joining from, and don't forget to share with us what your expectation is. Okay, sorry, somebody is saying the link I shared it's wrong. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Let me see if I can share this link again. It's not, it's correct. Sorry, the link is correct. I think maybe it's a mistake. Okay, so thank you very much, friends. So we are going to start this section soon, and today we're going to discuss about how to accelerate your leadership skills. So let's look at building a community. What is expected of you? What is that leadership skill that you think you really need to acquire as a leader? You think you need to have to be able to manage an effective team. So I'm going to give like instances where we have different community members, right? Yes, you have, for some people, you have like over 100 people in your community, and you're wondering, how can I be able to manage and work with these people to be able to do what? Get good results, to maximize their potential, to help them to be able to achieve all their individual goals. So we are going to be discussing a lot on all this leadership skill, what is expected of us as a leader, how can we be able to maximize potentials of those who we are leading, right? So all this actually very key for us on both our day-to-day business. Even if we have our individual careers, leadership is very, very important, right? Because at times we get confused on, oh, how do I delegate? I have so many people in my team. How do I get everybody involved to start, driving activity? So there is actually a whole lot. And I'm happy today we have a professional who is going to speak, tell us, a lot of things when it comes to, accelerating our leadership skills. She's going to speak to us how we need to do it, integrate this in workplace, right? So while we wait for her, before we invite her, and because we want to get some of our friends, some of our community members to join the section also before we start. So just also to share with you few. Yet, so I have the former said strategy and communication. Oh wow, that's good. I'm happy to know that you have a lot of things you have in mind you want to be able to achieve from today's section that we're talking about. Accelerate your leadership skills. Okay. So before we invite the speaker for today, I also want to remind you just few things that is expected of you as a leader and what even makes you a leader, right? Remember that leader is not only by position, right? It's not only by title or by position. We are all leaders because it's either in your family you have somebody that who you need to inspire or influence to be able to support this person to achieve their different or individual goals. So even in our community, in your team, right, we have all our own responsibilities. We have people we want to inspire for them to be able to do it, help them achieve their goals, help them want to support them to achieve either their business goal or their goal for joining the team. And here, we have to start considering a lot of qualities. How do I delegate tasks? How do I get my team involved? So you can get your team involved by doing or delegating tasks to them, getting them involved in what you do day to day, right? Yes. So activities you do together as a team, for instance, maybe you are planning your team experience or you are planning a hangout. So you can get the key people in your team, delegate tasks to them, give them different tasks. But this have a way of making people to do what to get involved, right, in day-to-day activities. Not only that, you also remember that while delegating all these tasks, you need to do this together with them because you can't give them a task and you are away. So remember the 3 ways to delegate tasks. You do this with them, you watch them do it, they also watch you do it, and all of you do this together. So I think we'll need to start very soon. But please, for those just joining now, don't forget to tell us your name, tell us the location where you're joining us from, and before we bring in our speaker for today's event. So let us know where you're joining from. Then before we can bring in the special guest we have for today, please don't forget to send this link to your friends. Tag your friends on Facebook. Let them know that we've started because it's good they do what they join this conversation. So kindly let them know we're live. Let them know they need to join this section. We need to start immediately. Okay, so do a quick reminder one more time. Then before I will invite the special guest for today. quick reminder. I'm all yet. So let's do this. Let's do this. So we have Omomi. Yeah, Omomi is here. Omomi, hello. How are you doing? How is Florida today? Okay, we have Rosemary all the way from Tanzania. Rosemary, you're welcome. How is Tanzania today? How is the weather over there? So can you remind your team, let them know we're live? Can you tag them, let them know we're live? They need to join the section so that we can start today's section. And please don't forget to tell us what is your expectation from today's section. We are going to talk about how to accelerate your leadership skill. Can you tell us what you're expecting from today's section? Don't forget to share with us in the comment section before we bring our special guests for us to start the event. So don't forget to do that, okay? So let's do one more reminder before we can start. We need to do a quick reminder, just quick. Oh, thank you. We have, hi ma'am, joining from LinkedIn. We have Rosemary. Thank you. Thank you. Rosemary is saying Tanzania is good, hot and cool. Oh, that's nice. Good, you have combination of two. So whichever that suits you. So we also have people joining us also from LinkedIn. So please feel free to tell us, what your expectation is for today's meeting. What do you expect to learn? Today we're going to talk about how to accelerate your leadership skill. So feel free to share with us what you're expecting from today's meeting, okay? So can we do something? Can we tag our friends so they can even watch the replay if they can't join us now? So let's tag all of them to join and they can also watch the replay. Can we do that now? Tag all your friends, let them know we've started and they can also watch the replay of this section later. Hi, Rosemary. Please tell Tanzania sisters that we're live. I know maybe the time zone, let them know it's time. They need to join us now. Okay? Yes, please tag them and ask them to join now, please. Okay, so Rosemary says, I'm expecting after this section, I'm going to be a producing leader. Fantastic. I like that, Rosemary. Rosemary, trust me, your objective, being a good leader, you are going to achieve that from this section. Yes, you will. So let's invite more of our friends to join. Please let them know it's not African time today. We need to be here and start immediately. And I want to make sure that each of them gets value from being of this section. So this is why we need to remind them to join the section immediately. Okay, so Charity, share with us too what your expectation is from today's section. Tell us what you're expecting from today's section. Okay, so for those just joining us now, welcome to Women's Sports Wednesday. And this Women's Sports Wednesday is powered by the Untamed. And we usually have this event 2 Wednesdays in a month. And what is the objective of the Women's Sports Wednesday? The objective of this event is to be able to educate, those who are in the Untamed community and those who are outside the community on necessary tips you need day to day for you to be able to build your business, for you to be successful in your career. And that's why every 2 Wednesdays in a month we always bring special guest speakers, professionals, experts that speaks to us about what we need for us to be able to scale up our business. So today's topic, remember that the last one we talked about how you can separate your personal finance from your business finance. And we had also a finance expert who took us through that topic. It was really an interesting topic, and people had opportunities to ask a lot of questions. But today, we are going to talk about how to accelerate your leadership skill. And trust me, this is a topic you don't want to mix out, right? So you need to attend this section because we need to make sure that your friends, your team members are here. Yeah, because this is a section you can't afford to miss. So we have Nakasinga joining us from Uganda. Nakasinga, how is Uganda today? How are you doing? Yes, please don't forget. Oh, I see you're already tagging your friends to join. Please let them join. Tell them it's time. Okay, they need to join. Tell them it's time. People are having issue with the link. Sorry, please. I need to share this link again. I'm getting another message. They can't join with this link. So I need to share this link again. Please just give me a few minutes to do this. Okay. So we also have Bridget. Bridget is saying to take home. Bridget, you're welcome. Bridget, how is Belgium today? To take home with great leadership skills from Europe. Yeah. How is Europe? How is the weather over there? So Bridget, can you tag all your community members? Tell them they need to join the section because we need to start immediately. Okay. So I just want to share the link again. People are saying the link, they can't join using the link. I don't know what. The Facebook is not working. Let the clock on full link. Okay, oh, really? Okay, so I'm going to share. Oh my God, I'm getting the same feedback again and again. So let me do that. I'm going to share the link now. What could be the issue? Let me see what I can do to share this link again. Let me see. Okay, so I'm sharing the link again. So let me see if this will work. Apologies, please, for those that joined us that had to go to our YouTube channel. Please, I sincerely apologize. I guess they're clicking half of it. Okay. Ifeoma, you joined with the link, right? Oh, wow. Okay, so let me share this again. So let me see. Okay, I've shared the link. Amaka, no issues. Just that it won't show all on WhatsApp. Oh, so okay. Oh, Lydia said I managed to join. Thank you very much, Lydia. Lydia, how is Tanzania today? Thank you for joining. Okay, I've shared the link again now. Please help me to share again to all your friends you sent to before. I think it's actually I get the same feedback again. So thank you for informing me. That's fine. So now we can do a quick, please share the link I just shared now to all your friends. Let them know we're live. And they can join us on the Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, okay? Yes, either the Facebook page on our YouTube channel. Apologies, I'm so sorry for that mistake. So now I think it's time for us to get started. Okay, it's already 20 minutes past 4. Let's get started. So if you have not introduced yourself, we want you to tell us your name, tell us where you're joining us from. Please let us know where you're joining from. We want to know where you're joining us from. Tag your friends, let them know we're already live, let them join. Tag them so that even those who had issue with the link earlier can also join now. Okay, so welcome you all to today's Women's Sports Wednesday. I'm so excited today because of the person that is going to speak to us about how we can accelerate our leadership skills. Maybe this is why I'm feeling excited. I'm also excited because I know we will have opportunity to go home with a lot of information at the end of this section. So what it means is that we are going to learn a lot from today's Women's Sports Wednesday. And this is why I'm really excited to have you all here today. I'm really excited that we are going to talk about leadership, how to accelerate your leadership skills, because this is an important skill that we need for us to be able to do what? Build our business. Okay, I'm really, really impressed. So now, if you are ready with me, tell me if you are ready for us to invite the special guest for today's section. Tell me in the comment section if you are ready. If you're not ready, tell me in the comment section. Tell me if you are ready. If you are ready. Tell me in the comment section if you are ready for us to start. If I don't get ready emoji, if I don't get ready emojis, I won't be able to do it. I won't be able to bring the special guest for today's section. So you need to tell me you are ready. Give me your beautiful ready emoji before I can invite the guest for today. Ifoma is saying, I'm ready. This is fantastic. I like this. She said, I'm ready. Who else is ready? Oh, Madam Christie is saying, I'm ready. Oh, wow, this is fine. Nasinga is saying, I'm ready. Fantastic. So let's see more people saying they are ready. If I don't get 10 ready, I won't start. Who else is saying I'm ready? Oh, Amma is saying I'm ready. Oh, fantastic. This is great, right? Yes. Now we are going to start now. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I think I've gotten more than 10. Oh, Agnes is here. Agnes, you're welcome. How is US today? So a lot of people are saying ready. Franca Choice is saying ready, 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 ready. As you're saying ready, confirm you've tagged your friends, you've tagged your community members to join the section. So now I'm going to invite the special guest for today. But before I do that, I want you to wait. Oh, somebody's saying I'm already writing. Fantastic. If you know you don't, she said born ready. If you know you don't have your notebook, you need to go and get it now because we're starting immediately. So I'll need to introduce her. Okay, so join me as I'm going to welcome her to take us on today's section. But before I bring her on board, I need you to know the person we are bringing here to come and take us on this section. And this is why I said you need to do what? This is why I said you need to go and invite your friends and make sure your friends are ready. You need to make sure they're ready here. You need to make sure they're here. So today we are going to have KEMI Ogунkoya. Yes, I hope I'm right. She's a renowned leadership development strategist. She's a certified management consultant. She's an author. She's the creator of the Dozen Model Leadership Framework and a member of the prestigious Forbes Business Council. You see why you need to be here live with your team. You don't need to be here alone, right? Yes. So let's continue. She has conducted and facilitated high-impact leadership development workshops in different countries. She has done in Africa, North America, Asia, and KEMI prides herself in the ability to help corporate organizations enjoy seamless leadership, transitions and also executive onboarding to eliminate so to be able to minimize their costs and also focus on growth. So this is not all, right? She has also helped over 90 organizations nationally and internationally, creating transformations, equipping business, and their leaders with the appropriate leadership competence for them to effectively perform on their job and businesses. So I'm sure you're already getting excited, right, about the profile of the person that is going to speak to you. KEMI has rich experience across industries, including but not limited to oil and gas, that's the downstream, aviation, financial services, educational sector, SMEs, and the public sector. See, she has all we need, right? She has experience, and this will really help us to be able to do it. We will be able to learn a lot because she has broad experience, right? So she has created some of the most remarkable transformations for her clients. KEMI is an alumni of the Sage Business School, University of Oxford. She's a certified management consultant, a master's neuro-linguistic programming practitioner certified by INLP Center in California, USA. She's also an emotional intelligence certified specialist. She holds a bachelor's degree in education and economics from the University of Ibadan, and she also has MBA in management consultancy from the University of Wales. So you see all she has achieved. You see her profile. So are we not lucky to have her today? We are happy to have her here. So just for me to summarize, she said, Mrs. KEMI, we are ready. Oh my God, that's from Bridget. Yes, I know we are ready, right? So there is actually a lot. Remember that you can also even go to her Instagram or Facebook page to read more about her and see a lot of things she has actually done. She has also received several awards and recognitions. She has been named among the top leadership coaches in Nigeria, and she's also among the top 15 women in transformational leadership and was awarded the Role Model of the Year 2020 and the Eloy Award Female Entrepreneur of the Year 2020. She has been recognized by the African Chamber of Commerce and Industry for her role and contribution to youth development in Africa. Wow, this is really fantastic. Right? Yes, it is. She was also the managing partner at HCT Consulting, a role she actually held for over 7 years. It's an executive high-level business and human resource consulting for private and public institutions. She's also the founder and chief executive officer of Release Work and LeaderX. She's also the co-founder of Speakers HQ, which is the chairman. She's the chairman board of trustees of the Power Woman Network and the Lead Africa Now initiative. So thank you very much, KEMI, for accepting this offer to come and have this section with us. So now she said, she's fully loaded. Yes, she is. I don't even want to continue to read more because she has a lot. Wow, the CV is salute. Yes. So now join me to make her welcome. Let's welcome her to the stage. Are you ready? Give me some hot fire, everybody, to bring her up again. Just one more time. We are ready, right? Okay. So, hello, KEMI. We're so happy to have you today.
I am super excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. We're so happy to have you here. And I want to leave the stage for you. Oh, Nasinga is saying fire. Yes, exactly. So I want to leave the stage for you so you can be able to take us through today's section.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. How are you doing and how are you feeling? So I see we're joining from different parts of the world. It's really amazing, just to lean into the beauty of technology, right? How we can all connect from different parts of the world. So I'm super excited and, I am really honored. Thank you to the Tamed community for having me. I am absolutely looking forward to a great time of learning. Thank you, the Untamed Nigeria. Thanks, Agnes. Thank you. All right. So very quickly, in about 60 minutes, we're going to be talking about accelerating your leadership skills. And this is such an interesting topic, one that is very dear to my heart. I have thought about leadership for close to a decade now, and every time it gladdens my heart to see how more people can step into the place of leadership. It's amazing how more women are stepping into the place of leadership, getting to understand, demystify the concept of leadership and actually excel as leaders. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, and helping you understand how you can step into your own leadership skills and accelerate it for all-round achievement in your personal life, in your businesses, to raise, a wonderful community and achieve your goals, so that you can live a more fulfilled life. So I have my slides, so if those slides can come up, we're going to get right into it. So I know we have been prepped up already to get our notepads. Please get your notepads. Please get your pens, because there will definitely be so much to take out of the session today. So the introduction has been done. I'm not going to, go into that again. And just for us to get it right? I like to always start with this quote by Daniel Boorstin, and it says that the greatest obstacle to discovery is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. So here's what I want us to do, right? Every thought of leadership, I know everything there is to leadership. I've been reading leadership books for the past 50 years, right? I want us to take all those thoughts away right now and open up our minds to learning, right? Open up our minds to be present so that we can get the very best of this session. And I absolutely, can guarantee that it will be a great one for us. Let's feel free to share, engage in the chat section. But most importantly, I want us to be able to challenge some of our thoughts, right? Conversations that we'll have today would help. They actually get some of us really thinking, reviewing, reflecting on certain things. So I would want us to be in that state of mind where we can actually challenge existing beliefs, right? And when we get right into it, you would understand how beliefs can impact your leadership skills as a woman. So challenge is what we're going to do here. Challenge thoughts, challenge beliefs, challenge perspectives that are not serving us anymore so that we can open up ourselves to new learning. And that's what the O stands for. Open to new learning, open to new ideologies, open to new perspectives, open to adopting new beliefs that can help us achieve great level of success, right? And then the P stands for plan. With plan, I want us to not just come into the session and at the end say, oh, we had a great time, it was amazing. I actually want us to have a plan in place to implement our lessons from today, right? And finally is the E. I want us to enjoy ourselves while learning. They say learning is fun, right? And I want us to enjoy ourselves. Accelerating your leadership skills. A lot of times when the topic of leadership is being mentioned, a lot of people, just imagine leadership as this scary, airy monster. The thought of leadership alone can be so daunting for some. Thinking about the tasks, thinking about the responsibilities, thinking about wearing that heavy, how they say on easy lies the head that wears the crown. Just thinking about all those responsibilities sometimes can get us all bogged down and just being in a place where we don't want to hear any more of it. And at those points or at those times, we get ourselves in states that, we just automatically disqualify ourselves from leadership and say things like, you know what, no, not everybody is a leader. This leadership thing is not for me. But through this session, we will get to realize and understand that leadership is not exclusive to certain people. Leadership is a skill that we can learn, and we will see exactly how we will be able to do that. So first, let me say that the concept of leadership should not weigh us down. The thought of leadership should not, ignite a flight mode in us to say, this is not for me. And, we're going to get into the discussion. But leadership is not an airy monster. Are there responsibilities? Absolutely, right? Is it, a walk in the park, stepping in the position of leadership? Absolutely not. However, is it doable? Is it achievable? Can you achieve great level of success as a leader, even as a woman? Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to help us understand just that. Now, if we look at how the world has changed, right? We say that we live in a world that is called a VUCA world. And the VUCA world, VUCA, the V stands for volatile. Okay, V stands for volatile. U stands for uncertain. C stands for complex. And A stands for ambiguous. So V, volatile. U, uncertain. C, complex. And A, ambiguous. And this pretty much defines the reality of our everyday living, because things are not cast in stone anymore. One moment you think you have a situation under control, you think you have your business under control, you think you have your team under control, and then change happens suddenly, right? And we have to be prepared to live, from a place of response, to actually deal with these issues, to be equipped adequately to deal with these challenges. And guess what? These challenges will come at us irrespective of you being a male or female. So that is why I say that the topic or the subject of leadership is not exclusive to any particular gender. Leadership, we say leadership skills, right? And just as we develop skills, we can develop communication skills, we can develop emotional intelligence skills, we can develop delegation skills, we can develop negotiation skills. The same way we can develop leadership skills. But it starts from what you see and believe about yourself. It starts from how you're able to, believe the fact that you are capable of being a leader. And for you to be able to get to that level, you need to understand the leadership pathway. So first is that I want you to, let go of this idea that leadership is this scary monster, right? The moment you hear you have to lead your team, you're like, oh no, it's not for me. I don't even want to lead anybody. But when we understand the foundational principles of leadership, it puts us in a position of power rather than a position where we are disadvantaged. When we talk about leadership, it's important that we understand that the foundation of leadership across any area of our lives is the area of leadership that we call self-leadership. So it begins with you leading yourself. A lot of times people have the concept or idea of leadership, and then, we rush into wanting to lead people, direct people, instruct people. And yes, that is part of it. But before you get to that point of leading others, leadership has to begin with you. So self-leadership. And if we're able to appreciate, how we develop leadership skills, it will definitely not put us in a place where we're constantly under pressure. As team leads, as community leads, as leaders in your businesses, as leaders in different career pathways that you have, or even as someone leading themselves, the foundation is self-leadership. And I say that if you cannot lead yourself right, you will struggle to lead other people. Okay, if you cannot lead yourself right, you will struggle to lead other people. We're going to get to understand the concept of leadership and how we can develop leadership skills, but it's important that we establish the foundation. If you cannot lead yourself right, you will struggle to lead other people. If you do not believe that you can develop leadership skills, you will struggle to develop those skills. So it begins with leading self, and then as you build the muscle for leading self, you develop the competence to start leading others. So we all have responsibilities, and trust me, the responsibilities of leadership is not a walk in the park, right? Especially when you're leading other people. And you can start to wonder that I've not even finished leading myself. How do I start leading other people? But it begins with self. And when you build that competence, you go on to leading others, you're able to lead systems, right? And then you move on to your ability to sustain leadership. Sustain leadership. So leadership, like we say, is not a sprint. Okay, so for you to get to the point where you can develop your leadership skills, understand that leadership is not a sprint. So you're not just going to do, I think just yesterday I saw that Tobi Amushon, right, the Nigerian lady who does the hurdle, 100 meters, had her world record ratified, right? So yes, kudos to her. Leadership, however, is not just that 100-meter sprint. It is a marathon, and it requires you to develop the skills and then be able to sustain your leadership skills. So which means that you will never get to the point where you feel so confident enough to say, oh, you know what? I think I'm a great leader, right? I'm leading my team, I'm achieving results, and now I can rest. The journey, unfortunately, never ends. So we need to understand that the pathway of leadership, or the pathway to leadership, begins with leading self. And when we talk about women in leadership, and I want us to really pay attention as we delve into the next few minutes. When we talk about women in leadership, women are making significant impact, significant progress in the spaces of leadership. Now, I've gone through dozens of research about the transition of women into leadership positions. There were times where you could hardly count women in corporate leadership, but now we can see that the numbers are beginning to increase. The numbers are beginning to go up, right? In politics, right? The numbers were not where we should be, right? But the numbers are going up. Something is definitely happening. And what it is telling us is that as women, we can lead. So please do not buy any, any lies that have been told to you in the past that you cannot lead. Do not get to the point where you are second guessing yourself and your capabilities to lead. What we see a lot of times is that when it comes to the subject of leadership, we let other people take the lead. We're very quick to let other people take the lead. And when we even find ourselves in those positions, we're second guessing ourselves. So I want us to understand that women are doing significantly well in the place of leadership. The numbers are there to show, the statistics are there to show, and we are seeing incremental progress. Like I said, we're not where we should be, but a whole lot is changing already, and that change also needs to get to your mind. It has to be absorbed in your mind. You have to see it, you have to feel it, you have to become it. You have to know that you as a woman has a responsibility to raise other women. And when we talk about raising other women, it necessarily doesn't mean that you have a mentorship boot camp, right? But that by other women seeing what is possible through you, they are inspired to step into their own boots and get it going. So women are great leaders. And just in case you do not believe that, I'm going to explain to you how and why women are great leaders. But before now, there has been a whole lot of barriers to why a lot of women have not stepped into the place of leadership. There are the stereotypes, stereotypes that are way older than we are, that have made women believe that leadership is not for them, right? That has not made women step into the place of leadership. Some of those stereotypes are grounded in certain theories that have been passed on from generation to generation, right? They have been passed on from generation to generation for people to believe, oh, you know what? It's a great man theory. There are just some certain people that can lead, or only aristocrats can lead. Oh, no, you have to be a man to lead. And somehow, guess what? A lot of us have come to believe those. We've come to believe those. And just by the thought of interacting with some of this information, we pull back. Right? So we have to get to that point where we're able to challenge some of these beliefs. We're able to challenge these stereotypes. What are also some of the barriers for women in leadership? Well, it's believed that women make fewer connections, right? And that is also stemming from the place of that lack of belief in self. We don't network as much, right? So, so this is not generalization to say all women don't network, but when you look at the percentages of women who are able to really put their foot forward in terms of making connection, networking consistently, the numbers are pretty much dwindling. So these are some of the barriers, right? These are some of the barriers. Bias and discrimination. We cannot, we cannot use a magic wand to just let that go. Lack of flexibility sometimes when it comes to careers and the kind of jobs that are available. Sometimes there are some barriers, some obstacles that doesn't make it possible for women to have flexible jobs, right? They have family to tend to, they're multitasking. There's so many things fighting for their attention. And for this lack of flexibility, sometimes a lot of women fall off the ladder, right? Fall off the ladder. And then the big elephant in the room, lack of self-belief. Right? So my job here is to first help us demystify this concept of leadership. And I want you to look around you. Look around you and see women who are leading nations. Look around you and see women who are, captains of industries. Look around you and, see you who is doing phenomenally well in your career. Look at you who is doing phenomenally well in your business. Look at you who is able to raise teams, who is able, to achieve great results, who is able to break boundaries. Take a look at you again. Take a look at you and just imagine what is possible to you when you're able to step out even more, when you're able to break, these boundaries of belief, when you're able to stand in that place where you actually believe that you are much more capable, while you're able to go into industries that have been previously dominated by men, and then you make a mark. You are able to do that if you can what? Believe in yourself. So when we talk about this concept of leadership, please do not go off the call right now to say, no, you know what? I'm going to talk about this in the next 5 years. You know what? I'm just going to wait to become a manager to start talking about leadership. This conversation is not for me. You are a leader right from where you are. And we would understand what leadership is all about so that we can get there. And you remember, I said I was going to help us understand reasons women make great leaders. We see all around us. I have said, look around you and look at yourself. Female leaders are believed to be more empathetic. And when we look at those who are able to make transformational change in the world, it is based on the place of empathy. Through empathy, you're able to get people to move mountains. Through empathy, you're able to drive people on your team to enhance performance. Through empathy, you are able to help people believe in themselves because they know they can trust you. Women have that power. It comes even almost naturally to women. So women are more empathetic, and for that, they try better in leadership roles. Because you can feel what the other woman is feeling. You can feel what the other person is feeling. And that is a great strength. Gone were the days where it was believed that empathy was a weakness. But now we see that through empathy, we are able to achieve great things through and with people. So women are more empathetic. They encourage free thinking, right? Women encourage free thinking. So free thinking, creative thinking, open-mindedness is also an important leadership skill, right? So you have that as a woman. Women are also good at teamwork. Naturally, there's that sense to want to collaborate. So when it comes to working on teams, women do great. All right? And then, it's quite a whole lot of things that we are great as, we're great at as women. Now, I love this quote, right? I love this quote, and this quote is by an amazing, woman who has done significantly well in the tech space. And it says that in the future, take note of this, right? In the future, there will be no female leaders. And I'm sure you're wondering, what does that mean, right? There will be no female leaders. It says that in the future, there will be no female leaders. There will just be leaders. There will just be leaders. And this is by Sheryl Sandberg. There will be no female leaders. There will just be leaders. And I think this is so significant. It is such an amazing quote that we have to sleep over, digest, chew over and over and absorb. There will be no female leaders. There will just be leaders. And that's why it's important that you step into your place of leadership because it is time for us as women to start playing the value card, not just the gender card, right? So I say, quit playing the gender card. It is time to play the value card. And when we play the value card, it's not going to matter whether you are a man or a woman, or whether you're from Jamaica, or you're from Nigeria, or you're from Tanzania. You will always have value to bring to the table. And one of those ways we can bring value to the table is by equipping ourselves with leadership skills that can help us thrive. And when we thrive, we're talking about all around thriving. We're talking about thriving in your businesses. We're talking about thriving in your community. So you have a community like the Untamed, right? How can you thrive? How can you build teams? How can your teams achieve great results? How can you, continue to grow the community? It is by you stepping into the place of leadership, going beyond the gender card, and starting to deal from the place of value. Right? And how do we deal from the place of value? We need to reimagine what leadership is all about. We need to reimagine all we have believed about leadership and start understanding what leadership is all about and how we as women can play a significant role in changing the narrative. Remember, I said that leadership development begins with you. It begins with you, right? You have to begin this journey of leadership by reimagining leadership. Understand what leadership is, understand what leadership is not about, and step into the place of leadership. You need to understand that, just like I said, it starts with you, but it doesn't end with you. It starts with you, but it doesn't end with you. So you have a responsibility as a woman. You have a responsibility as a leader to raise other leaders, right? To raise other leaders. And guess what? If you are the only person thriving as a leader, then your leadership is questionable. So you want to get to that point of knowledge and mastery where we absorb the skills, and we start to step into our place of leadership. Stepping into our place of leadership, start understanding that it begins with you. So we have so many responsibilities. Some of us as daughters, some as wives, some as moms, some as, managers in our workplaces, career women, building our communities within the Untamed, Nigerian network. And, there's just so much that we have to do. But guess what? You cannot become better at what you do unless you become better at who you are. And that's why the journey of leadership begins with you. It begins with you. And you need to understand this concept of leadership. Now, when we talk about the concept of leadership, long before now, it has been described in a way that can ordinarily just make you tune off. It has been described, in terms of theories. It has been described, in terms of, just long age beliefs. But if we have to bring it closer to us, I need us to start to understand leadership as a concept. I need us to start to relate with leadership as, a tool for growth. I need us to start to relate with leadership as a lifestyle. So for us to get to the point where we can really accelerate our leadership, it would be that we develop a lifestyle of leadership. That we are not just showing up in our community, showing up in our businesses, showing up in our career in a particular way, but it becomes the standard for how we show up. That we step into that place of leadership from the place of understanding what leadership is, and we're able to exhibit this leadership awareness day in, day out. So we talk about leadership as a unique pattern of traits. So remember, I said that we're talking about leadership skills, and when we talk about skills are learnable. So anything that has been termed as a skill is learnable. So leadership has emerged as a unique pattern of traits. So the traits that you have is emerged as a unique pattern of traits, feelings, thinking, intent, behavior, actions, practice, situations, people, and processes. a unique pattern, so which means a unique blend. So if we're talking about these skills, you have to be able to equip yourself with these skills, and with any skill that you learn, you can definitely improve in those skills. So when we talk about accelerating your leadership, we're talking about a never-ending journey of growth, right? A never-ending journey of growth that begins with self. And when we talk about self-leadership, it is a practice of intentionally influencing your thinking. So remember, we said it starts from the place of belief. It means that you are in a practice of intentionally. Now, I say that you can unintentionally become a bad leader, but great leadership begins from the place of intentionality. So I need you to go through this session today with intentionality, that you're going to equip yourselves with leadership skills, and that you're going to start practicing your leadership skills from today. Intentionally influencing your thinking, your feelings, your actions towards your objective. So what you want to achieve. A leader is someone who is crystal clear about what they want to achieve, right? And then you're able to develop a sense of who you are, what you can do, where you are going, coupled with the ability to influence your communication, emotions, and behavior on the way to getting there. Right? Self-leadership is about constantly developing the inner game of intention. It is about constantly developing the inner game of intention. So when the intention is riddled in a lack of belief, you will not be able to develop yourself. So remember that we have said that leadership is not, it's not exclusive to some people or some certain people. Rather, it is a choice that you have to make. Leadership is a choice that you have to make. And when we look at the concept of accelerating your leadership, there are pretty much 4 pillars that I want you to hold on to. The first pillar is the pillar of self-discovery, which means that for you to be able to get to that point of developing your leadership skills, you have to begin by discovering who you are. So who are you? Who are you, amazing woman? Who are you? Have you taken time to identify your strengths, for example? Have you taken time to identify what your weaknesses or growth areas are? Have you taken time to even understand the skills that you have, the skills that you need? Do you know your personality? Do you know your personality? Have you ever done a personality test before? These are tools that leaders harm, themselves with. They equip themselves with these tools. And it is based on these that they're able to deliver exceptional leadership to themselves and to others. So self-discovery is a never-ending journey that you have to go on as a leader, and you have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about it. You have a responsibility to self, you have a responsibility to others, but you cannot achieve much from a place of obscurity. You cannot achieve much from a place of blindness. So which means that you first have to be able to develop yourself and discover yourself and know who you are. When you know your strengths as a leader, you will not be wallowing in your, weaknesses. No, you would understand your strengths. You will know how to also, develop a community of people who can help you, stabilize. Self-discovery is very important. And then the second pillar is that of self-acceptance. So when you discover yourself, you also need to be able to accept yourself as a leader. Now, note that self-acceptance does not mean that you are not going to improve yourself. To say, oh, no, now that I know myself, I'm a great leader, that's all to it. No, that's not what all it is about, right? It's also about accepting yourself enough to know that you're not perfect. And then you move on to self-management. And self-management is how, as a leader, you can control and manage your emotional impulses. You're able to, envision a possible future. You're able to carry people along. You're able to control your emotional state in real time. That is what self-management is all about. And when we see, around, you see that this skill is one that a lot of people struggle with. Managing themselves, being able to remain disciplined, being able to manage their emotions, being able to control, their thoughts at different points in time, being able to be disciplined to achieve great results, being able to be disciplined and focused enough to persevere. These are leadership traits, and these are skills that we can develop ourselves in. And finally, is self-growth. There's no leader who will become better by staying stuck in the past. When we started the session, I said we are in an era that we call VUCA, VUCA, right? Highly volatile, highly uncertain, highly complex, and highly ambiguous. So which means that we cannot afford to remain the same old way and expect a different result. In fact, one of the reasons why a lot of leaders fall out in terms of being able to manage their teams effectively is because they stop growing. And when you stop growing and your team members or those who are following you do not see anything to learn from you again, they start to get disengaged. Right? So you as a leader has a responsibility to grow, right? It's important for you to note that leadership is not about a position. Leadership is not about your age, right? I say that leadership is shapeless. So which means that it doesn't matter which country you're from. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter your physical abilities. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. You are a leader. When it comes to leadership, it is a choice that you make. So what choice are you making today? Are you making a choice to want to step into the place of leadership and develop your leadership skills? Or are you still going to say, you know what, it's not for me, right? Leadership is not made for me. You have to make that choice today, because exceptional leaders are those who are able to distinguish themselves because of superior self-leadership. So what choice are you making today? And how are you going to be able to bridge that gap? You will be able to bridge that gap by, deploying some of these elements that I will share with you today. And these elements are from my leadership framework called the Dozen Model Leadership Framework. And I have used this framework to develop leaders all over the world, across different continents, across different industries, and we have achieved significant growth. And I have no doubt that as a leader, you will also be able to do that today. So the model called the Dozen Model Leadership Framework says that for you to develop and accelerate your leadership skills, you need to begin with clarity. So we said that the first foundation or the first pillar for self-leadership is self-discovery, right? So you have to begin with clarity about who you are, clarity about, your strength, clarity about your weaknesses. And when it comes to how you manage and deal with other people, manage your team, you also need to be able to help them develop that level of clarity about themselves. Gone were the days where leadership was only about you. As a leader, you have a responsibility to raise other leaders. It is not about the number of followers that you have. It is about the number of leaders that you are able to raise. So it begins with clarity, but that clarity begins with clarity of self. What do you even want to achieve? Where are you headed? Where are you leading your teams to? Where are you leading your family to? Where are you leading your business to? These are questions that you have to be able to answer to accelerate your leadership skills. Because if you do not know where you are headed, you will wind up somewhere else. And worse still, when you are carrying other people along with you. So it begins with clarity. Accelerating your leadership skills begin with clarity. 2 is character. What is the quality of your character? What values guide the expression of your character? Is your character, deeply rooted in values of respect, for example, values of discipline, values of excellence, values of, growth, values of leadership, values of integrity? Somebody who stands for nothing will fall for anything. So, as a leader, you have to consolidate your skills, you have to consolidate your goals and anchor them from the place of values. From the place of values, right? From the place of values. So, please spend some time with yourself to identify what your values are. When people interact with you, who are you? What do they see? Are you a leader who breaks people? So on your team, in your community, are you building people or are you breaking them? These are questions that, help you develop the strength of character that is needed to lead. We see around us a lot of leaders who are devoid of character. Please let me tell you today that character never goes out of fashion. Character never goes out of fashion. And when you see people who are able to achieve significant results, not slave drivers, they're able to lead from the place of character. They're able to lead from the place of empathy. They're able to lead from the place of respect. They're able to lead from the place of, considering other people. So what character do you have as a leader? Do you have the character where you just want yourself to be the only person winning? Right? And then you gladly put on the toga of leadership. No, that's not what leadership is all about. So if you want to accelerate your leadership skills, you also have to be able to accelerate your character. Who are you? When the lights are off, when the spotlight is not there, who are you? You have to define and determine this. And then you move on to competence. Competence is number 3. As a leader, are you competent enough to even lead? Have you developed your competence for leadership? Have you developed the technical competence for you, for example, within your community to be able to make sales? Have you developed the competence to, of skills that are required? Have you developed communication skills competence? You cannot lead without communication, unfortunately. You cannot lead without being able to inspire people significantly, right? So have you developed the competence to actually do what you're supposed to do in your business? Have you developed the competence? Are you even making out time to develop the competence, right? Are you developing the human skills competence that is needed to lead other people? These are skills that have to be developed. But guess what? You will not be able to develop what you don't know, right? You cannot develop what you don't know. So, which means that you have to still begin with clarity. And from the place of clarity, you can even be objective enough and develop great level of self-awareness to be able to tell yourself the truth. Look yourself in the face and say, you know what, I'm doing great. However, there are some gaps in this area. I have a great challenge when I'm communicating with my team members. I have a great challenge when I'm communicating with people at work. I have a challenge when I communicate with my employees, or when I talk to people, I get angry, right? When they're not giving me results. There's so much more I need to know about myself. This is you building competence. Some of the competence you also have to build is what we call conceptual competence, which means that as a leader, you're able to drive and take people into the future. If you cannot inspire as a leader, if you cannot influence as a leader, you are leading nothing. It's not leadership. It is an infatuation, right? Leadership, one of the key currencies of leadership is influence. So who are you influencing? Who are you inspiring? It begins with building competence. You have to be able to inspire people to be able to see a possible future. Even when your team members are saying, you know what, like it seems like this goal is unachievable, you're able to help them see what is possible. Not the leader saying, there's nothing we can do about it, even me, I've tried, it's not working, and I don't know what to do. And this doesn't mean that a leader is perfect or a leader will not fail, but a leader should not be the prophet of doom. A leader should inspire. When people are fretting, a leader should inspire. A leader should not lead from the place of fear. A leader should lead from the place of enthusiasm. A leader should lead from the place of optimism. A leader should lead to be able to instill and inspire courage in others. These are how to accelerate your leadership skills. And then 4 is commitment. You cannot be a wishy-washy leader. So which means that some leaders lead in January when the New Year resolution is just fresh out of the oven. And then by February, they're nowhere to be found. Their zeal, their commitment, everything goes down the drain. As a leader, you have to be committed year in, year out. You have to be committed to those you lead. You have to be committed to their growth. You have to show up and show up consistently. People have to see you and see that there's that level of commitment to what you do. There's that level of commitment to how you do it. You're passionate about what you do. Commitment shows itself forth passion shows itself forth through commitment. And then we move to communication. I said earlier that communication is an important skill for leadership, and you cannot lead if you cannot communicate, right? You cannot lead if you cannot communicate. So how do you communicate with people? How do you communicate with your team members? How do you communicate with your employees? Irrespective of whatever walks of life that you are, you will need to communicate with people. You will need to engage with people. How are you engaging with people? You will need to learn to build a muscle for public speaking, right? If you have to sell to people, how do you say that you are building skills, you are developing your leadership skills? But I can't talk when I see people. I just freeze. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. But know that communication is also a skill. It's also a skill, right? So I learned how to communicate. I learned how to develop my communication skill. I used to be very shy. I wouldn't consider myself then as someone who could speak in public, but I had to develop the skills. I had to develop the skills to be able to manage my team and communicate effectively, and use that as a tool for growth. So communication skills is a skill that you also have to accelerate. And then you move on to consequences. Consequences. As a leader, there are always going to be consequences for your actions and inactions. Positive or negative, there will always be consequences. So as you go on this journey of leadership, do not be too quick to make every decision. Pause and apply what we call consequential thinking. If I do this, what happens? If I go this route, what happens? If I place this call, what happens? If I talk to this person this way, what happens? If I inspire courage in this person, what happens? There are always consequences. And as women, I said some of the things that really help us stand out as leaders, as women. We also have to be able to deploy this, skill for consequential thinking, to be able to identify what the consequences of our actions and our inactions are at every point in time. And then we need to learn how to, build confidence. Build confidence in yourself. As a woman, I have said already that we are capable of leadership. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So those goals, those dreams, you can achieve it. There's no height that is too big for you to get to. There's, if you, I'm not talking from a place of, maybe there are some things you cannot achieve. I'm talking from a place of you believing that you can achieve anything. So I work in a male-dominated field, in a male-dominated industry, and it has been that way for quite a while, right? But then I chose to bring value to the table. And as a leadership development strategist, leadership coach, when you talk about leadership development in Nigeria, my name would pop up, right? So it wasn't about me coming from the place of, looking for somebody to validate or give me permission to become. No, You have to be able to validate yourself and give yourself permission to become. Give yourself the permission to learn what you need to learn. Give yourself the permission to grow and become. Give yourself the whatever heights that you imagine. Give yourself the permission to be that leader who can impact, who can inspire, who can make a difference, and who can achieve great level of success, because you can. Okay? Give yourself permission. Absolutely, Bridget. Give yourself permission to grow. It would require work from you, but you can do it. As a woman, you are a natural multitasker, right? You have those skills that are coming to you naturally. So please do not sell yourself short. Do not sell yourself short, right? You also have to be able to build the muscle for connection. I said earlier that one of the reasons why a lot of women do not, uh, one of the obstacles when it comes to women in leadership is that, they really don't build connection. You have to build connection. You have to meet people. You have to network with people. You have to be bold enough, without being ashamed of yourself. You have to be able to initiate conversations with people. That is what leaders do, right? Be able to initiate relationships. And when you build those relationships, you now have a system in place to manage those relationships. Women, like I said, are empathetic. This is a skill, this is a strength for you, but you now have to be intentional about it. You need to make networking a part of what you do. You need to make it part of your everyday living. You need to make it part of life. You need to create systems that can help you, thrive in that particular skill. And then we talk about consistency. It is not the things you do once in a while that will make the difference for you. It is those skills, it is those things you do every day. But guess what? You may not be perfect doing it. So I don't expect that maybe you get out of this session and then, your leadership skills go from 0 to 1,000, or from 50 to 1,000, or from 99 to, 2 million. It takes deliberate steps. It takes deliberate action, but you have to be willing to go on that journey. So consistency is also very key for you. And then critical thinking. Critical thinking. The responsibilities of leadership can be quite huge. And it requires those who can step out of the box, those who can take out time to see beyond what is visible on the surface. And they're able to achieve that through critical thinking. So critical thinking is also a skill that you have to be able to build. And then you're able to, spend some time to think, if we do this, what happens? If you do that, what happens? Analyze your decisions. You have the capacity to be able to do that. It is not exclusive to some gender. It's not exclusive to some people. You can develop these skills. There are structured pathways to be able to do that. And you have to be able to do that, right? And then there's consideration. Consideration is about empathy. Please, let's, wear the muscle of empathy so beautifully, because it is a skill that sets leaders apart. The best of leaders are those who are able to lead from the place of empathy, who are able to connect with people deeply. You're able to connect with your team members deeply. You're able to connect with your customers deeply. You're able to connect with your employees deeply. You're able to connect with your family deeply. Develop this muscle for consideration. And finally, build a community. Build a community. Build a community. Actively, intentionally build a community. And don't build a community of clones. Don't build a community of clones. Don't, as a leader, think that your job is to raise clones, to raise remote control people who cannot think or process any information by themselves. No. Help your team members develop themselves across these areas so that you can develop and build a community of leaders. across. And you can do this by intentionally applying yourself in these areas of leadership. It's not a walk in the park, like I said. It will require us to intentionally start to work from the place of our thoughts. What do you think about yourself? What do you feel about yourself? What have you told yourself to believe? It requires you to examine your life. It requires you to examine your beliefs. It requires you to examine your thoughts. It requires you to examine your perspectives. And as Socrates says, an unexamined life is not worth living. So as leaders, we will reflect and see where we are not doing enough and start to do. We will reflect and see the gaps that exist and start to bridge those gaps. To unlock that pathway of leadership, believe that you can. Switch the language that you have been speaking to yourself. If the language you have been speaking to yourself before now has been negative, no, I'm not a leader. I don't have what it takes. Oh, no, it's for the men. Oh, no, I can't even manage a team of 5. Oh, I don't have the confidence. You need to switch that language. You need to also learn to start accepting praise. When people say that you're doing great, accept it. It shouldn't be the time to say, oh, no, is that me? Or your profile is being read. You say, oh, was that my profile you just read? I can't even believe it. You work so hard, dear leader. Accept those praises. Let go of perfection. Let go of perfection. Perfection is a myth that never, exists. So you will not be perfect. Even as a leader, you will make mistakes, and it's okay. What is not okay is that you're making the same mistakes over and over again. You have to learn from your mistakes. And then be fearless. Be fearless, right? Go for it. Go for it. Take on that responsibility. Take on that duty. Build that team. Develop that team. You have the capacity. Women are natural multitaskers. You can do it. And be a self-advocate, right? Just like they say that you wouldn't have a light and then put it under a table. So self-advocate yourself, promote yourself, let us know what you're doing. Not from a place of pride or, just making noise, but let people know what you're doing. Why a lot of people or a lot of women particularly do not even get leadership positions in the corporate world is that we are too silent about our achievements. Say what you're doing. Let us know what you celebrate your wins, but be authentic. Be authentic. And that's why clarity is very important. Also, cure the disease to want to please everyone, right? But by saying cure the disease to want to please does not mean that we lose our empathy. No. But we are not all about, I just want to make everything so perfect. No, that's not what leadership is all about. Do not self-select or disqualify yourself from leadership. No. When you find yourself being given an opportunity and the first thing you say, no. Or when the call is being made for a leader and then in your mind, you should take on that responsibility and you find yourself just quiet. That's you disqualifying yourself. When opportunities come around and then you're waiting for you to have 100%, before you step up to the responsibility, that's you disqualifying yourself. Also, you want to be able to make a plan. We spoke about clarity. Make a plan for what you want to achieve. If you don't know where you're headed, you'll wind up somewhere else, right? And when you make a plan, your mind, your heart, your body, your spirit, your soul, at least is focused towards achieving something. So make a plan. There's no, great leader that is planless. They have a direction. They're able to envision. They're able to carry other people along on that vision. Build your network. Build your network. Actively build your network. I cannot overemphasize the place of this. Connect with other women intentionally. Forget all that thing about women don't support women, right? You choose to believe what you believe. When you go about in the world, and I think it was Brené Brown that says this, that when you go about in the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, you will find plenty of it. And when you go about in the world believing that you will not find women who will support you, you will find a lot of women who will never support you. You will find the kind of women that you have your mind gazed on. So connect with other women and have that mindset reshift that women are great. All this my gender, it has to stop. Right? Be that kind of woman who is also a value addition to other women, but actively connect and bring value. Delegate, learn to delegate and empower. Empower actively. I spoke about community. It has to be done actively and always be learning. Self growth is a never ending journey, and it's a journey that you always want to be on. Take some time today to think about some of the lessons of today. Take some time to reflect on those elements that I've shared with you, from the dozen model, to the place of belief, to the definition and demystification of leadership, to help you get to that place where you can lead and lead effectively in every sphere of life. Where you can lead effectively from the home front, you can lead effectively in the workplace, you can lead effectively in your communities, you can lead your business right. You can achieve that level of greatness. So take some time to reflect and think about what you have to start doing differently from today. Think about what you need to start doing. Think about what you need to stop doing, and think about what you will continue to do. Phenomenal woman, the untamed woman, nothing can stop you, and never let you stop yourself. I do trust that we've had a great time learning together. And, I look forward to taking your questions when the question and answer session begin. Thank you very much. Oh, I see my sister.
Hello. Hello, my darling. My goodness. Oh, Kemi. How many times did I call your name?
Let me see. That was 3 times.
You are so phenomenal. Hello, everybody. Nice to see all of you. Please, wait. I need to talk to my girl. We're coming to all that you learned. Yes, keep throwing it in the chat box. But Kemi and I have some history. It's fascinating for you guys to know that Kemi and I were born on the same day, the same month, not the same year. And we're not gonna put it out there like who's older and who's younger. But Kemi is my twin sister, and it's phenomenal. There are about 6, 7 of us, women that are just crushing it, and we're all born on the same day, August 28th, and we were connected online before we got to know we were birthday mates. But it's just been so beautiful seeing her leadership journey. Let me even let them know that that the ties that connect us. If you don't have this book, The Leadership Guardian, are you really a leader? Let's talk. Like, are you really a leader? If you do not have the Leadership Guardian, are you really ready for this journey? Oh my God, so much to unpack tonight. Where shall we begin? But first, let me say thank you on behalf of the entire leadership at the Untamed. And of course, you know that I am here as a part of the partners, and it's been such a beautiful journey. This is one more reason why I'm so proud of being a partner with the Untamed. Just the value that they give to us as a community. not just in, doing business with the Untamed, but bringing in experts like yourself to, to teach us, to open our eyes. Like, my notes are full and I don't even know where we will begin. Where shall we begin? But this is where we usually begin. We are grateful people. And so in the comments, everyone, let me see your gratitude to our very own phenomenal coach tonight, KEMI Ogунkoya.
Thank you.
Are you aware that this is a Forbes Council coach? Did they read your profile? Like, did they get the memo? Come on. Did they get the memo that the Untamed brought a powerhouse tonight? We are so grateful. Come on, guys, let's put it in there. Let's have all the thank yous. Yes, I learned I have a plan. It gives direction. Thank you so much. Yes, Coach KEMI, thank you. It was powerful. I will have to rewatch. Yes. Yes, put it in there. As you're sharing your gratitude, please also start sharing some of your insights. We're going to take questions about now, but I want to share a few things that I wrote down. And I think I loved I loved everything you talked about, but there were a few things that jumped at me. One was leadership is shapeless. I mean, that was like, say it again. There's no excuse after this session. Like, really, this is one session where you just don't watch it. Like, you get everyone on your team, every leader here. You have to get your team members to watch this video, and then you have to have a discussion. I'm going to do it with my team. Everyone who was not here live has to come and watch it. Those who watched it have to do a replay, and then there has to be a scheduled date for us to meet and discuss as a community. It's not enough to hear this once. This is not what you hear once and then you're like, okay, I'm good. I've gotten it. No, no. This was just wetting the surface. Of course, there is the Leadership Guardian. There is the app. And I'm sure, KEMI, you're going to tell us a little bit about that before you go. Because there are ways for you to stay connected to all that Coach KEMI is doing. But I love that leadership is shapeless. I absolutely love where you talked about we can't afford to stay the same old way and expect a different result. Someone once defined insanity as doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. It's not going to work. And I know one of the things that the Untamed is doing is disrupting the network marketing industry. It is disrupting the industry, not just in Africa, but across the world. And the company that you are a part of is a disruptor. And so you cannot afford to be normal. You can't afford to do things the same way it's been done before. And if you truly see yourself as a visionary leader, you have to start thinking in the line of, what can I do differently in my business? How can I show up differently? How can I lead my team differently so that we can have the results that at the end of the day we are proud of? I am so passionate about changing the perception of this industry. And I know, KEMI, you probably are going to be like, when did all of this happen? I'll gist you later. We'll catch up after the class. But I'm so passionate about changing the perception of this industry. And I know that everything about this industry, and with every other thing, rises and falls with leadership. The perception and the negativity and a lot of things that are out there, it's leadership. So the moment we start having the right people with the right knowledge, take positions to, succeed in this business and really help their people, because this is the business of people helping people. And this is it. This is it. As a leader, you have to understand exactly what it is you are doing. You have to understand the responsibility that is on you to ensure that the people you have brought into this business are not left standing. Thank you, Eunice. I didn't even bring her. Untamed brought her. Like, I saw the flyer when you saw the flyer. And I remember saying to Amaka, oh my God, that's my girl. I was like, that's my girl. I'm coming. I'm just going to plug in quickly. I was like, that's my girl. That's my birthday mate. I did not even know Eunice, I wish I could take credit for this.
Okay, so I'm sure Dr. Naomi will be back in a bit. It's network, but she's going to be back very shortly. And when she comes back, we will then go into the question and answer session. And I absolutely cannot wait for that to happen. So just hold on one bit. She would be back on the call. But keep your learnings coming in the chat. I am absolutely delighted to read all that we are dropping there. Yes, thank you, Untamed. You always surpass our expectations, and that's just tells us what great leadership is all about. Okay, remember that the last slide was showing us about the community and ensuring that community is not just about one person growing, it's about ensuring that we're able to develop other leaders. Dr. Naomi, welcome back.
Thank you, my darling. I didn't realize that I wasn't plugged in, so forgive me, guys, for the break in transmission. But I was sharing how it's critical for us as leaders in the Untamed to know the responsibility that is on our shoulders, not just for ourselves, but for those that we have introduced into the business. One of the reasons the network marketing industry has such a bad perception is usually because of leadership. So people come into the business, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to lead, they don't know how to help others grow. And at some point, maybe they quit. And those who they brought into the business is like, well, this wasn't what was promised. This thing is a scam. Everything rises and falls with leadership. And I'm grateful that we have the leadership expert, scratch that, the leadership expert right here with us. Okay, we're going to take questions now. Come on, guys, let's do this. If you have a question for Coach Kemi, let's have it. While I share some more insights from my notes, a leader should not be a prophet of doom. That was good. That was really good. A leader should inspire. A leader should inspire courage. That was so fantastic. Like that doesn't model leadership framework. That's an entire class. Like that's a master class. That's a master class. When I saw that, I was like, okay, this class is not ending today because we will stay here. So, guys, please take a moment to share this. Share this. And the beautiful thing is, even for people who are not a part of the Untamed, this is Leadership 101, regardless of where you are. How do we get the leadership book? Okay, we have the first question there. Please just tell us quickly. How do we get the leadership book?
Okay, so the book can be gotten on the website www.theleadershipguardian.com, www.leadershipguardian.com, and you can also go to www.kemiogunkoya.com. You'd also be able to purchase it, and then if you also go to Robin's Heights Bookshop in Lagos and Abuja, you can also,
Abuja.
yeah.
Yes, Abuja. Maka is in Abuja. So Maka is at Roving Heights. I
Okay.
got it's on Amazon as well.
It's on
If someone's
Amazon,
asking,
yes.
is it on
Yes,
Amazon?
it is.
Fantastic.
It's on Amazon.
Mine is even autographed. Like, can I show them? Hey, mine is autographed.
Let's
I'm
go.
just I'm just feeling so cool today. I'm feeling so cool. But it's amazing, Kemi. Like you are just a powerhouse. And I know you have a program coming up. Even as we wait for questions, tell us a little bit about accelerating your leadership competence. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so accelerating your leadership competence is a leadership transformational events. We hold it twice a year, and the next one is coming up on Saturday in Lagos, Nigeria, at Radisson Blue. And we call it an immersion. So if you look at it, we say a 7-hour transformational leadership immersion, because what we do
So
is not, no. We don't just do all the fluffs and all of that. No, it is actually about helping leaders get to that point where they can uncover, but going on a very deep journey of introspection. So a lot of times when we talk about change, and we talk about modification, a lot of change that we try to attempt happens just on the surface, right? So that way, when the troubles of life come in, when the challenges come in, when the people come along, it just seems like there's no foundation, there's nothing to actually help leaders absorb it. So we came up with this program, and this is the third. This is the fourth stream of the Accelerate Your Leadership Competence workshop. So it's pretty much a workshop that helps leaders catch up, with the fast-paced leadership challenges in the world. So what we do is to focus on personal leadership, and also help them build that competence to also be able to lead their teams and businesses. But I say, Naomi, even I am humbled with the transformation that happens in the course of this workshop. So the next one comes up on Saturday. I am super excited.
It's right here, Radisson Blue, Lagos. If you were in Lagos, if you're outside Lagos, I mean, this is a must attend. This is a must attend. And how can they reach you? Yeah, the numbers
So
are on the screen.
number,
Yes, it's on the
yes,
flyer.
the
There's an
number is
email.
there. Yes, and
And they can also
every
follow you on
year
Instagram.
they can
Yeah.
follow me on Instagram, right? They can follow me on
Right.
Instagram. It's amazing the kind of people we also pull into the room, So it's not just about what I would even be saying, or the training in itself. It's a quality of exchange that happens in that room. It's a quality of networking that also happens in that room, and it's phenomenal every step of the way. So yeah, if you will be in Lagos, please join us on Saturday. I think we have a few seats left. Yeah, but if you tell us you're from Untamed, we're glad to let you join us.
Please, guys, make sure you make it a date with Coach Kemi on Saturday live in Lagos. We're still waiting for your questions as well. Coach Kemi is still here. If you've got any questions, it's a good time to ask. But I know probably a lot of people, and well, you did share this when you talked about the 4 pillars of self-leadership, self-discovery, self-acceptance, self-management, and self-growth. This industry, because I'm in it, also comes with sometimes that overwhelm. I don't want to use the word frustration, but there could be that feeling of, look, Coach Kemi, I'm really trying to help these people. Like, I am doing my best, and they're not showing up. They're not attending the meetings. They're not doing what they should do to get the results. How do we manage that? I mean, and this has to do more with probably our expectation of others, even while we're leading. What happens when, as a leader, you feel you're doing all that you know to do to encourage your team, and yet they're not showing up? How do you manage that? How do you not go crazy and fall out with everyone on the team? Please help us put this in perspective. I think
All
that's
right.
a question in a lot of people's hearts.
Okay, all right. Fantastic question, Dr. Naomi. And it's as real as it can get, right? You have that great intention, but I say that intention alone doesn't doesn't always do the magic, right? So you have that intention to really want to help people, but when it comes to growth and transformation, we need to understand that you cannot force anybody to grow, right? You cannot force anybody to grow, because their growth is not within your circle of control. Okay, so a lot of times we want to force growth on people. We want to believe that, we're just coming from that place of how I wish everybody's like me, how I wish you get it like I get it. But then you're not on the same level of self-awareness to even start with. Your perspectives are not the same. So when we come on that journey, expecting that people just get it because we have the intention to want to help them grow, it is a recipe for huge frustration. So, as a leader, we need to be able to meet people where they are, understand that everybody is at different points of growth, understand that, the growth that we're also talking about is not a function of their age, or the function of even their situation. So, you have people who you would assume or you would think that their situation is there, right? So, how do I want this change so badly on behalf of you? And then you're not even
Right.
right? How can I explain it? But we need to understand that it goes way beyond the place of intention.
Mm.
When it comes to actually helping people grow, that falls within the circle of influence.
Mm.
Okay? So until you're able to help them reach that point from core transformation, I can't guarantee that they're just going to be in a place where they are ready.
Mm.
People rarely do what you ask them to do. They do what they want to do, right? So
Mm.
imagine advising someone, I want you to do this, and then, few moments after, right? You see them doing exactly what you asked them not to do. If transformation is not led from within, if what we're doing is to try and change a behavior, we will never get the kind of change that we want.
Mm.
Understand that what creates behaviors are thoughts, right? And some of these thoughts are rooted in years of experiences. Some of these thoughts are rooted in years of trauma. You cannot just swish all of that away with a magic wand of this is what I think you should do. So when we want to change or when we want to help people accept that level of change, let's focus on helping them change from the core, which is changing
Mm.
from their thoughts, right? Thoughts,
Mm.
so when you look at, we call it the cognitive behavioral theory. And it says that thoughts create feelings and then feelings create behavior. So let's quickly look at what that looks like. So somebody who has thought of, you know what, I'm not good enough, right? But then they still have to find a way to live. Because you're not good enough does not mean that you shouldn't fend for yourself and wear clothes and have shelter, right? So they're still trying to find a pathway. And then the thought is, I'm not good enough. Now, when the thought is, I'm not good enough, it comes with some kind of feelings, right? And you can have feelings of disassociation, you can have feelings of resentment, it can come with a spice of self sabotage, and some of those feelings can be endless. So, when you have that, the behavior is going to produce cannot be positive. Those are negative
Mm.
thoughts that have created negative feelings, and those negative feelings will not automatically create positive behaviors. So the behaviors you would expect will be nonchalance, right? They will
Mm.
not be interested in growth. It won't be a priority for them. So until they get to that point where you can help them work from the place of their thoughts and really understand what has created those system of thoughts, right? What have created those patterns of thoughts. Then you can have a conversation about growth. Then you can have a
Mm.
conversation about leadership, right? Then you can have a conversation
Right.
about transformation. But
Right.
if you're just trying to change from the surface, you will never be able to help people get to the core. And until they get to the core, they're not in a place where they're ready to take in that level of transformation. So I say,
Right.
like, as coaches or as leaders,
Right.
we also have to be equipped as
Hmm.
coaches, right?
Hmm.
It's so gone are the days where it's just about, oh, I've told you what to do. You have to be able
Right.
to deal with their own
Hmm.
challenges, right? And that's where coaching comes in, where you're not forcing people, right? But you're
Right.
able to get them in a place where they are receptive of this
Right.
growth, where
Right.
it meets them right, it meets them well, and then they're willing to, willingly, voluntarily take that journey of growth, take that
Right.
change, and do what they have to do. Yeah. So that's what I think.
That is so profound. Meet people where they are. I think it's important. It's funny, one of the things I've been doing since I came back into the network marketing industry, I've shared this publicly that my online journey 7 years ago started because of network marketing. I
Hmm.
was in a particular company, and in my search to want to expand my business, I got to know about Periscope, which was where I started. Of course, I fell in love with the online world and I grew to where I am today. But I did make a promise that I was going to come back to the industry. And for me, it wasn't just coming back to do business, but to really change the face of the game. And I found something so interesting recently, Kemi, and I want to share it here because it really puts things in perspective where you talked about, helping people change from their thoughts because there's a certain way people are thinking. And I think also as leaders, it's important for us to understand this. I discovered recently there is something called the Larry Thompson rule in network marketing. It's the 80-15-5 rule, and I think this will help a lot of leaders as well. And it's a very interesting rule that states 80% of people that will come into network marketing are really just looking for that $500 extra. Like they're okay there. And another 15% are like good with $2,000 to $5,000 extra. And then it's only 5% that really are in for everything. And so as a leader, it's important that you even understand. So is this person 80%? Are they 15% or 5%? Because if you're trying to push someone who's at the 80% level, the way you push someone who has given you the hunger that she's ready for everything the industry has to offer, you will just burn out because it's not even possible. So it's important as leaders that we get equipped. And I shared this to buttress your point about leaders getting equipped. You have to get equipped with knowledge. You have to understand how to deal with people. You have to meet people where they are. Like everything that you just shared with us is truly, truly profound. And I'm sure a lot of leaders here are really going to, go back to their teams and even begin to ask questions about, how am I doing? What ways can I improve? How can I serve you better? We need to wake up. Another thing that I learned recently is asking yourself every time you want to do something as a leader to say, if your team had an opportunity to change their leader every month, will they work with you in the new month? That's like a wake up call to say, if this Untamed had a system where team members could decide to change their team every month, would your team members still stick with you, or will they be looking to join another team in the new month? That should get every leader, it should get you to a very humble place of doing the self-evaluation. Yes, thank you, Bridget. Really self-evaluating. As much as we want to say, my people are not working, my people are not showing up, it's also good to check yourself as a leader on how you are showing up and how you are leading, so that at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everyone. Kemi, it's almost 2 hours. I really just want to say thank you. Once again, you can follow her on Instagram. You can go to the app. Yes, Leader X. I need to download this app. Like I knew when you did the launch. And I mean, this is fantastic. I'm going to download this right away. So guys, get your phones out, download the app, the Leader X app, leadership on the go in real time without breaking the bank. It's a never-ending journey. And I think Coach Kemi has made it easy for all of us. And once again, we want to say thank you. Yes, Asante. We want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your time. And we hope to see you soon. And for all those who are going to be able to connect with Kemi this Saturday for her leadership immersion experience, please grab your tickets. Grab your tickets and be sure to let her know that you are from the Untamed. Yes, accelerate your leadership competence. Thank you so much, my queen.
Thank you.
On the other side, guys, let's show Kemi some love as she goes. Let's show her some love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my darling.
Au revoir. All right. Bye.
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 All right, people. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you very
Oh,
much, Kemi. Thank you so much for
Thank
wonderful
you.
section. Yes. And also thank you very much, Dr. Naomi, for moderating the rest of the section with us. So now we're going to say goodbye to everyone for joining us today. Thank you very much, our community members. Thank you very much, our guests. Don't forget that we usually do this 2 times every month, 2 Wednesdays in a month. And we want you to join us and also want you to invite your friends. Send this replay. What is the varsity saying? You should say, thank you very much, Coach
network
Kemi.
was
Network was
unfair.
unfair to me today, but we definitely watch the replay. Oh, wow. I can imagine.
It's a must
Okay, thank
watch.
you. Yeah, thank you very much also, Dr. Naomi.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Thank you. Okay, so goodbye, everyone. We want to see you again on our next Women's Sports Wednesday. So we want to see you again. For those who are guests that attended this event, I know you're already feeling, oh, what's this community all about? Make sure you get back to the person that invited you to brief you on how to be part of the Untamed community, how to be part of our amazing community. We look forward to have you all in our community. And thank you very much for being part of this program. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.